Ambassador KC Singh, let me come to you first. I mean, it just seems, given what Trump has said, that he is planning his battle in the US Supreme Court. And in a sense, critics of Trump would say that that's already been gamed. Now, that isn't to say that one can assume that the judges would be biased, but he would be confident about his position in the US Supreme Court, right?
No, firstly, the consensus is he can't go directly to Supreme Court. As you know, the decisions have been taken by the states concerned because there's no central election authority in US. So the rules are made by the state authorities in each state. So he has to go to the local authorities. He has to go to the Supreme Court or higher court in Pennsylvania or Massachusetts or wherever. Now, if they give him a stay, although the word he used was voting has to be stopped, what he really meant is probably counting has to be stopped.
Right.
I don't see any court really interfering when all that is at stake is counting mail-in ballots. They can probably say, they can probably question the Pennsylvania rule that those ballots which are arriving the next 3 days would also be counted.
Right.
But those which have already arrived, I don't see any court really questioning it. And one positive thing is that Justice Barrett, who's gone to the Supreme Court now and has become supposedly 6-3 in favor of the conservatives, has been sitting out. She's not joined the bench on election-related cases. Let's see if she makes an exception now. And in any case, some of these, you're right, have already gone to Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court allowed that the signatures need not match fully, etc. A number of things had gone up to Supreme Court. So let's see what they do. But in the meanwhile, Wisconsin has flipped while this was happening. And Michigan, we have seen a sudden jump in favor of Biden of almost 60, 70,000 votes as the ballots came in. So the counting is going on. And let's see what the judicial intervention does. But at the very least, what Trump said when he came out at 2 a.m. was completely undermined the Constitution, which is to say that he has won and all counting must stop. And in the same breath, he said, in Arizona, the counting must go on. In the other 3, it must stop. Now, that's almost like, kids.
Pick and choose which state you want voting to continue in.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. Pranoy, since you were last
I just want to ask Ambassador Singh a question. And that is, I've just heard from some very senior people in America that they're worried about the Indian voting system and elections. They want to come and supervise us and make sure it's fair because their institutions are so solid. What would you say to them?
In fact, there's the Harvard University had done an analysis after the last election in US. When we were questioning the voting machines. In India, we have never questioned the opposition. We have questioned the voting machines, that there is something wrong with them. Right. So there's a study of the Harvard University after the
when your party
2016, yeah, 2016 election, which said that actually in America, half of them are using the Indian type machines. And the other half are using somewhat different machine where you vote on paper, but the paper is scanned. So I don't know. I've always said, let them come and give us that other machine where you vote on paper and then the machine scans it. So a hard paper remains as a backup.
We need to export our machines. Our machines are absolutely fine. We've done a lot of study on that. But more seriously, I just wanted to ask you, I don't know. I mean, as far as I can see, only voters, when they lose, they say the machine. When they win, it was fine. Now, I do want to ask you, it was actually a broader question that what Trump did, and frankly, his vice president, Pence, contradicted him, saying we are going to keep vigilance and watch the voting. That's not a good sign that a president and vice president are speaking in two totally different voices. But what President Trump did it not undermine the global impact of American institutions and how vulnerable they are?
Of course it did. In fact, Trump's re-election would only undermine it. And if you see the kind of allies he has, Bolsonaro in Brazil, earlier he was very enamored of Erdogan in Turkey. And then, of course, he's very fond of President Putin. So he's fond of autocrats of all kinds. And I think he's importing that kind of behavior where constitution doesn't matter, facts don't matter, where you can decide the facts as you go along. And that's a very wrong signal to send because the world looks up to US as the most powerful and the most important democracy in the world.